Hey ladies, it's Renee here from Unleash the Power with Tony Robbins, our small group we had yesterday. I just want to take a moment to thank you so much for what you shared yesterday in the small group chat. It was probably less than 5 minutes long. I don't know, I really couldn't even keep track of the time at that moment. But I felt like you guys were completely speaking to me, and I wanted to share that with you and let you know how inspirational both of you are to me. This is the first time I am talking to the camera. I have a huge fear of speaking to a camera, and I don't know why, because you can put me on stage and I'll perform, and you put me in a small group and I won't stop chatting. But you put me in front of this camera and I am paralyzed. So I am doing this without edits, just going with the flow based on the inspiration you guys gave me. So to give you a little bit background, I did sign up for Unleash the Power, obviously. I just wanted a little bit of motivation, which Tony Robbins is all about motivation, and stopping those roadblocks that keep us paralyzed. I didn't join the first day. I had too much stuff going on, and I knew I was never going to join and be live. I didn't have a camera set up. I didn't have a microphone. I could have found one, but I chose that. Nope, I was not ready for that. Anyways, for some odd reason, I felt like I needed to log in, and I did, and you guys were about to break for these small groups. So I guess you had a little lesson to put some things together. I believe the hardest challenge and the smallest, the easiest challenge you've been faced with, and then when we broke into the groups, you were supposed to share that. Well, when we broke into groups, I'm like, oh no, these people have no idea. I don't even know if they can see, what they can see, if they see my name or anything. Well, obviously you did see my name, and Evelyn, you called out to me, and obviously I didn't answer because I didn't have a mic, I didn't have a camera, and I was too scared to type anything. I'm like, no, I can't go the typing route. Then I think your name is Ann Kath from Norway, also joined in, and she was amazing. She started the conversation rolling, and she shared with me, the first thing that she shared was her challenge of ice baths. I guess in Norway it's really cold, and they go into the oceans and do these ice chills. Well, part of what I'm pursuing is helping people transform their health. And the ice bath is amazing, but it's the one thing I've never done yet. So I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Like this, where'd this lady come from? Like she probably has a lot in common with me. And then after her sharing her story, then Evelyn started sharing hers, and she's like, yeah, I had a towel over my camera. I just took it off today. I was really nervous to be in front of the camera. I'm like, oh, she's just like me, another connection. I was like, where do these people come from? And as they started progressing, they called for me, but obviously I wasn't there and I wasn't going to type anything. Then, lost my thought. And Kath came back to her and said how amazing it was, how once you get going, the fear kind of goes away, you get used to it, you get comfortable with it. And I was so excited for Evelyn to do this. I was like, wow. But at the same time, I'm like, she's talking to me. They're talking to me. Like, where did these ladies come from out of the blue that have connections to me? Now, I always feel that everything happens for a reason. And Evelyn is kind of starting, she shares a spiritual transformation is what she's trying to pursue. And the other gal asked, well, do you do this for a living? She said, no. She's like, having some of these challenges, talking to a camera and things like that. And I'm like, oh, again, that's me. I got all this information. She's like, well, you should really do this as a job. You give value to people, and when you have value, you can charge for it. Now, I'm about giving back. I've had many health challenges, some near-death challenges, and I've worked through those. And so for me, like for her to say these things to her was just like amazing. So I took the plunge, and I felt like I was behind the screen, and I'm like, I need to talk to these ladies. So I typed, I'm like, you know, do you see this? This is Renee. And then someone saw it, and I'm like, she's like, yeah. They're like, turn on your camera. I'm like, I don't have one. And then turn on your microphone. You're on mute. I'm like, I don't have one. And I was so wanting to talk to these ladies because I felt such a connection to them. So then I, you know, blurted out, wow, the ice bath thing sounds amazing. I've experienced so many different things. I'm more the warm weather, you know, person. So I'm into the saunas, I'm into red light, I'm into PEMF, I'm into hyperbaric oxygen, just to name a few, but I've never done the plunge. So I typed that in, and then they started chatting among themselves, obviously, because they couldn't hear me. They're like, oh, here, look at Renee posted this. They're like, what's PEMF and what's hyperbaric oxygen? And it was kind of funny because the one gal was trying to figure it out, but it was all wrong. But that's all good. That's why I'm here. I'm here wanting to educate everybody. So then after I was trying to like figure out, well, I want to say something to these gals because I want them to be able to find me like when I finally launch on YouTube. So I'm like, well, I said, I'm getting ready to launch on YouTube, and the name of my channel is the 3P Blueprint, where I teach principles, practices, and protocols to help you heal, enhance, and rejuvenate your body. So push send right away, and they were starting to like trying to exchange names because we were kind of like on limited time. I'm like, oh, I hope they get it. I hope they get it. I'd love to stay in contact with these people. Like, where did they come from? Like, these are these angels coming out of the sky talking to me, and I can't talk to them. So it was completely like the energy that flowed through me wanting to speak to you too was amazing. Evelyn, I did see your email address and I did reach out, and thank you. I did get your message this morning, but I wanted to share who I was and my experience yesterday and how deeply it affected me, and I'm ready to roll. I have been working on my program for over 2 years to get ready for the camera, which has just been a block for me. And I know you're like, wow, that's amazing. When I mentioned that, you had told me I'm not ready for YouTube yet, but you have to remember YouTube is all about you. So if people don't want to see you, they don't need to click on you. But I'm a firm believer that we all connected for some reason. Everything happens in life for a reason. Even though I should be watching the rest of Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within, I'm sitting here conquering my fear of talking to a camera. And I'm hoping this comes across to others, to inspire others, and it's not that scary and you can take that step. It's weird how certain things, you know, you ask me to do certain things and I am a go-getter, but it's that one little fear that can hold you back. So I'm hoping everyone got something out of this. To answer your question about what PEMF is, it's like electromagnetic mat, and it helps bring your body's magnetism back in balance from all the bad EMFs out there. And then the hyperbaric chamber, which I know you thought was something that was really ice cold that you go into. No, it's a pressurized chamber that you go into, and you get oxygen at the same time, and that oxygen gets pressurized into all your cells. And it was life-changing when I started using that. But the program I'm pursuing, I have all this knowledge of all these little things, and people would be like, but I don't have access to those things. My program in itself is how to utilize everyday things that people have to help put your body in a healing state so that it can rejuvenate. We get in the way of our healing process, and many people don't understand that concept, and that's kind of what I go into. And actually the 3P Blueprint ends up being your let's say instruction manual. Like, there is not one size fits all for everybody when it comes to diet or exercise. There's so many different aspects. I mean, if you have a knee problem, you can't do the exercises that everybody else can do. And sometimes you do more harm than good. And my program goes through this, and I teach you. I don't just help you heal and then throw you out there to then, have to come back to me when things aren't progressing any longer. There's a saying, and I'll probably screw up the saying because I'm really good at screwing up sayings, but it's teach a man to fish, not just give him a fish. I teach you how to fish, because if I give you a fish and you go home and eat that fish, now you're going to go hungry. So I know I totally screwed that up. I'm really bad with those things. Anyways, I'm hoping to teach people the skills and what they need to thrive and not just survive. I spent many years in pain, and I didn't have to. So that's a little bit about me and what I'm pursuing. And thank you, ladies, again for your inspiration. And drop me a chat, a little note. And if there's anybody out here who sees this and is inspired by this and would like to know certain things, or stuck in a problem right now with a health transformation, put it in the notes, because I know I have so much information in my head. I'm having a problem where to start with people. And that's my big hurdle at this point. But thank you again. I appreciate it. I know I think I'm supposed to hit like and subscribe if you want to be notified every time I post a video, if I did that right. Tony, you're amazing. You got power. I like it. And thank you so much. I know my 5-minute segment of Unleash the Power really did change me to put me in front of the camera. So thank you so much. Take care.